Hello and welcome to Billy Ho Sports. Continuing coverage of Independence Day weekend, still plenty of time to check out all the previews for the major stakes races and my late pick five for the Saratoga meet that's going on today. I am going to do tomorrow's Belmont Oaks for today's video, and we're going to have a bonus sleeper pick for the Kelso Stakes. So you're going to be wanting to stay tuned for that. Next time we do a split the pot draw will be for Haskell Stakes Day. Check the description for details on how to enter. But basically, you just subscribe to the channel and you leave a comment. That gets your name in the draw. So in the comment section, you can try to give me a horse that's going to beat Nitrogen in this race, and I'm going to try to do the same. But I am going to start with that bonus play in the Kelso Stakes. So looking through there, there's lots of horses like Think Big and others that look really good. But I've settled in on the number 6 horse, Mountain Bear, 6-1 morning line odds, a former Aidan O'Brien trained horse that Wesley Ward took over the training of late in 2024. And so this horse has only faced horses like Carl Spackler, Rosa Lyon, Diego Vasquez. So it's not like a talent is why this horse doesn't have a great turf record. It's more like he was 22-1 in the 2023 Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf, was second there, second or third in 3 other graded stakes races. This looks like a really good spot for him to get it done after losing that optional claiming race previously. So keep an eye on that one. I'm going to put a little wager on that one as a sleeper as well. But now we are going to step into the feature race of the show, the Belmont Oaks, going 9 furlongs on the turf. Let's take a look at some past performances. Okay, the number 1 is Warming. That's trained by Graham Motion, Manny Franco. This one just 3 lifetime races and a couple of stakes. Well, 1 stake effort that didn't go so well. Just that lack of experience and the connections. I'm just not looking there for that one. There's too many other good horses in this race that are just better, in my opinion, one of which would be number 2, Opulent Restraint, who is Chad Brown and Joel Rosario. And this horse 10-1 morning line looks kind of juicy to me. I really waffled on this race on what I wanted to do with it, because this one got out very fast in the opening call, plus 18. You could see that going a mile at Aqueduct, and then was just evened up by Laura Lynn. Laura Lynn is a very good filly 3-year-old that's just kind of like a Nitrogen light, I guess, because she hasn't run in like major graded stakes, but she still has similar numbers record, just wins race after race. So she got it done against a very tough Opulent Restraint, Virgin Colada, who's in this race, who looks very good as the stablemate. And she got it done there at 4-1 odds. So this horse is sired by Dubawi and has significant form as the dam. But Dubawi, you can see, just wants to run all day. So this one gets out on the lead and gets loose. Kind of hard to run them down when they have that kind of stamina. So keep an eye on that one. Another one with some stamina, probably totally Justified. Justify is the sire, ran in the Regret mile and an eighth. This one is also the same distance, obviously, but the grade 3 ran grade 2, ran in the BC Juvenile Filly Turf, didn't do very well there, but ran up against Nitrogen in the Appalachian, and then Fion ran her down in the Regret. So I think there's just a few better horses in here, unless she drastically improves a lot. I don't think that late pace number is going to do it for me. I think maybe if she was at a mile, you can see she's stretching out here. So not really sure if that's going to be the case for her, but I will probably use her underneath, but maybe in the last of the horizontal bit. Virgin Colada. This one, the Memories of Silver. I went back and watched this race again, and she looked really good tracking the pace from off the pace, I should say, with Pratt aboard. But when she made her move, she was coming real strong around that turn and hit the stretch and collided with another horse briefly, and then had to kind of reset and then still finish third. So I thought a lot of that race, overcoming that obstacle. But you can see going back, didn't fare very well in the juvenile Phillies turf that was won by Lake Victoria at Del Mar. But The previous race was at Aqueduct, and that was a grade two Miss Griot and ran second to Scythian. So was beat by Totally Justified. So this Chad Brown horse is just a borderline for me. And then Fion is Brad Cox and Flavian Pratt just looked so good running down Totally Justified in the regret. This one comes way late. So if you think you can beat Nitrogen with a late closer, Fion can definitely sign up for that because she doesn't hit her stretch. I mean, she's six. You could see the stretch drives in some of these. If she's third by 2 lengths, that's where she wants to be. You don't want to be that far back right there against Nitrogen because you're not going to catch Nitrogen being that far back. So she's going to have to move a little bit sooner under Pratt. That was Florence Rowe. Pratt hasn't ridden her, so we'll have to see. Now, Frankie Dettori rides Mayday Ready, who was a really hot commodity as a juvenile. You can see won her first three, broke the maiden first asking, went right to the juvenile fillies at Kentucky Downs, won that one. Sometimes Kentucky Downs horses that win there, I'm not always so keen on regular flat courses, but she backed it up and ran second in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies to Lake Victoria. She drifted, but did finish well. And then this draw line through this Hanshin Juvenile that was over in Tokyo, bad idea. So they had to regroup over that. And then, of course, they want to start her out in the Wonder again. It gets pulled off the turf, dropped to 3 horses. And they said, well, what the hell? We need to run her anyway. Put her out there and just let her trot around the course a little bit and chase Nitrogen. It doesn't really matter. We just need to get her out on the track and do something. So just completely scratch out those last two. But then that takes her all the way back to last November. And do you count on those first 4 races of her career to be what she is? I don't know. It's really tough. 33% Joseph Lee, that's 1 out of 3. So I'm not putting a lot of stock in 33% graded stakes. Second off the layoff, yes. Fast turf speed, yes. But I'm probably going to have to wait and see on that one. Obviously, Nitrogen, the best horse in the race. Draw a line through the Wonder again, but if you go back to the Edgewood, just strong close, cleared Lush Lips and Vixen, two very good horses down the stretch easily. Cleared Vixen and Fion easily in the Appalachian. The horse to beat wins, beats Lush Lips again, beats Love Cerive, and just going all the way back to the Breeders' Cup, which she didn't. She had a good late run to finish third, so you can't really knock the BC Juvenile Fillies either. And you know she's never done anything really wrong in her entire career for Mark Casse. And Jose Ortiz retains the mount. Jose Ortiz off to a bit of a slow start at the 4 for 28 in the opening stages of the Saratoga meet. So kind of keep an eye on that, and we'll see how to progress. But rounding things out, if I were to try to beat the favorite, I think maybe the 4, 5, or 6 would be the one of the ones I'd choose. Fion, I think, is probably the best ready to do it, and obviously such a big fan of Brad Cox and the way she closes. I mean, she could definitely catch Nitrogen sleeping if Nitrogen gets a clear lead down the stretch. So I'm going to use 4, 5, and 6. I'd use those in the vertical pick fives. I think you could blow up the pick five if you went against Nitrogen. Maybe not advisable, but maybe if you did, but if you do anything, you single Nitrogen. But in these types of races, when Nitrogen's going to be 4 to 5 in a turf race with other really good horses, it's always best to maybe take a shot on trying to beat them. So I wouldn't include them. If you're not going to single Nitrogen, exclude them. That's just kind of my advice on it. But what I'm probably going to do for a bet is bet a trifecta key box using Nitrogen on top, and then I'll use 4, 5, and 6 underneath. And then that way I'm covered if, say, Fion gets up or Virgin Colada. Now, I do feel a little bit leery about leaving out the 2 horse Opulent Restraint. So I may alter that course and maybe add the 2 in just to pay the extra money. Because it goes from, like, if you did a 50-cent trifecta and you key box the 7 with 3 other horses, it's $9, which is a average type of bet. $9 to $15 is usually how I like to bet individual races. But I sometimes do creep it up if there's value underneath. Like if Opulent Restraint goes off at like 17 to 1 and maybe people are talking about her a little bit, it might be worth to pay the extra $9 because it's going to go from 9 to 18, adding in that extra horse. So that's basically what you're looking at. But the seven on top, 4, 5, 6, kind of how I want to roll. But that's all for the Saratoga this weekend. Have a great Independence Day. Stay tuned. I'm going to have a little Indiana Derby action for you. Be safe and best of luck.